Hello again, my dudes. This is Kadima back with another Dragon's Dogma 2 video. This time a little bit different than what I usually do on the channel. This is a more of a tips and advice and guidance on what to do in the Unmoored world before going into New Game Plus. A lot of discussion on Facebook groups that I'm a part of regarding Dragon's Dogma 2 tend to be about I've just reached the Unmoored world, what should I look for? And this video will most likely provide some answers and give some guidance to those of you out there who want to know more information about these things. Now, my very first advice when you first arrive at the Unmoored world is, if you can, swap to being a thief, especially if you haven't leveled up to max the thief vocation. The thief has the formless feint, and it will help you save a lot of HP, because if you are in formless feint you can get hit, and this will save you the trouble of having to rest, and the less you have to rest, the more time you have to explore the Unmoored world. Also, being a thief will give you certain perks that you might consider having in your possession. The ability to steal items from enemies. As you can see in the background video, I myself am playing as a thief, and I have two more thieves in the party. I also have Gandalf, my main pawn, as a mage to heal us and give us infinite stamina. Now, having a group of 3 thieves will give you triple the chances of stealing loot from enemies. And in the Unmoored world, most enemies, even the small ones, are likely to give you good loot. And by good loot, I mean fairy stones, wakestone shards, gold, upgrading materials. As you can see, I'm fighting a drake at the moment, and worm life crystals are also a good source of resources that you will need in your Unmoored world. So 3 thieves, triple the chances of getting extra worm life crystals. The second piece of advice I would give in this case, and as you arrive in the Unmoored world, is consider leveling up the vocations that you might not have leveled up just yet. This is because in the Unmoored world you get extra experience, extra discipline points just from killing even small enemies. So if you are debating if you should try different vocations, even the Trickster, for those of you who hate the Trickster, it is worth doing it in the Unmoored world, because you can do it probably in half the time that you would do it during the main story. Now, the reason why you should look into maxing all vocations is because the more vocations you level up, the more augments you unlock, and then you can use them with all vocations that you use. This advice also applies for your main pawn. Try to get your main pawn to level up all possible vocations in the Unmoored world, because again you get more discipline points and more experience here. My other and next advice would be to collect again as much worm life crystals as possible from the Unmoored world. There's a lot of drakes here. Some of them will respawn after just resting for 1 day, some will be after 2 days, but the essence of getting more worm life crystals, and this is why I advise you to have 3 thieves in the party, you being one of them, is that the best gear you can get in the game is sold by the Dragonforge vendor, and he sells them for worm life crystals. As you can see, I just killed the drake and got myself not only a piece of gear but also worm life crystals. So triple thieves, triple the loot potential, especially when it comes to worm life crystals. Also, not only you want to have enough worm life crystals to buy that gear, but also you want to have enough to upgrade it. So the more you get, the better your chances. My next advice kind of follows under the same as before, which is defeat as many bosses as possible in the Unmoored world to get not only potential gear pieces, but also, and most importantly, upgrading materials for the gear pieces that you get. Most of the gear pieces will require rare resources that you get from killing other bosses. So if you kill more bosses, you gather more materials, therefore you are more likely to be able to level up and upgrade your gear as you go. Also, and following into the same advice, try using one of those thieves as a forager, because this will pinpoint on the map where the materials are that you need to upgrade your gear. To have this work, you will of course have to visit the blacksmith that you wish to go for the upgrades. I strongly recommend going for the dwarven blacksmith unless you are using um, magic weapons like a magic bow or an arch staff or a staff. If you are using any other kind of weapon, I recommend going with the Dwarven Blacksmith upgrade. So what you need to do is go check with the Dwarven guy, in this case girl, what materials you need, and the Forager pawn will pinpoint on the map where these materials are. And sometimes these materials will come from bosses. So it will save you the time of having to look for bosses in the Unmoored world, because the Forager pawn will tell you where they are. This also falls into the next advice, which I kind of already talked about it, which is swapping to being a thief. Not only because it will save you HP, but also because it will help you with the loot. But also because as a thief, you do a lot of damage, and the bosses in the Unmoored world tend to be a little bit harder to kill. So with Formless Feint and good damage output, especially with Skull Splinter for example, you'll be able to kill bosses much faster, so you get to explore faster. It will save you a lot of time. I couldn't recommend any more going into this part of the game as a thief with a gang of thieves and a mage to keep you all alive. My next piece of advice has to do again with experience. Consider using the XP increase ring in your character. This is because in the Unmoored world, as I said, enemies give more experience, they give more discipline points, and they give better loot. But also, as a thief, you'll be able to kill them faster. So if you kill the enemies faster and you can get extra experience for it, you will be leveling up faster. So if you combine all these perks together, being a thief in the Unmoored world makes a lot of sense, because it will be the best way to go. You'll be killing a lot of rabbits with a single stone, covering your back in a lot of different areas. And last but not least, my very last advice for this video on what to do in the Unmoored world is explore. And when I say explore, is don't just randomly run around the map. Open your map, check what areas are still unexplored, especially caves and delves and other areas that you believe there might be a cave. The reason for this is that a lot of good loot is in caves, and if you go to these caves, you'll be increasing your chances of getting better loot. Also, in a lot of caves, you tend to run into boss monsters, chimeras, and the likes. So again, you'll be increasing your XP gains. Also, I don't know if you are a completionist like me, but if you are, one of the trophies you get in this game is for visiting at least 50 different caves. So there you go. Another thing you will be doing at the same time that you're enjoying the last bit of the game before you go into New Game Plus. Bonus piece of advice for those that watched the video all the way till the end, and as a thank you for those that paid attention to the whole video. If you are struggling to keep your pawns alive, especially your main pawn, don't try to. Just throw them off a bridge, let them die, and then resurrect them at the Riftstone. The same applies to other player pawns. Don't waste your time or your resources trying to heal them up. Don't waste your rests to heal the pawns. Just dismiss them, summon new ones, or if you like them that much, you can just summon the same ones by going to the Riftstone and going to previously hired pawns. Another form of healing for yourselves is actually to just commit seppuku and use a wake stone, and this will recover your full HP and you'll be ready to continue if you are the one who is struggling with HP. Last thing I want to show you guys is the location of a piece of gear in the Unmoored world. I will also show it on the map before the video reaches the end. But in the meantime, I would like to thank all of you for the continuous support. If you haven't subscribed just yet and you are new to the channel, please consider doing so. If you are already subscribed, or if you have just subscribed, please be ever so nice to turn notifications on as well to be fully updated when the next video is uploaded. Also, there will be a giveaway taking place very soon to celebrate reaching 2,500 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. You have been awesome. This is Kadima, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheerio!